Hello, I'm Colin Bradley. Many years ago, when I started out with my watercolour work, I always admired the pictures and paintings of John Constable. Well, I did have a go at one, Dedham Mill, and it turned out very well and was very successful, not only as a painting, but also as a video. I did do two of them. The first one was watercolour only, and the second one was watercolour and pastel. But it's the first one we're going to concentrate on now, and I'm going to show you just a section of it, Dedham Mill itself, because it would take too long to do the whole thing. So, I think you'll be surprised. At the end of the picture, I'm going to show you how I put pastel pencils to use on the picture and refined, made it a little bit more interesting. I think you'll find it interesting too. Now we have our watercolour picture. What about putting some embellishments on with the pastel pencils? Now, first of all, let's start at the top. It wasn't so important when we were doing watercolour that we did the whole thing, but now, of course, we've got to revert back to pastel pencil techniques, and that means that we have to start at the top. We don't want to put a hand all over it when we're finished. Now, that might not look very bright to you, but it does give us a little bit of our foundation for other colours, like a little bit of ivory. You see, it's all subtle. That's what we've got to do. But if we really wanted to, what we could do is add a little bit of grey. Now, this is difficult with watercolour because you're going to ruin it, but with grey here, you're not. You can put a little bit of grey in, just a touch, just see how that works out. Now, I could use a blender, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of ivory to blend it in with. You see how that works out? Just a little bit more strength, and just a little jiggle with the finger, just to put a little bit of colour. You see, that's just a little bit of colour, nothing much, nothing to worry about, and we can do that all over. I mean, obviously, if we wanted to enhance this, for instance, just a little more, we could just put a little bit more white on there. You see the white goes over the blue, but it won't go over the blue completely, so you've got to be careful. I think that is actually all I would want, because I think the cloud here looked quite nice. Although maybe just a touch of ivory there to match the other side. I'm not going to put any grey in, I'm just going to put a little bit of ivory. There, just a bit of colour. Lovely. Touch with the finger, and there we go. Now that's all we want to do there. Now the rest of it, it's not bad. We could put little touches, maybe a little bit of touch of orange in there would be nice. Just a little bit of orange on the roof, nothing much. And when you come to this bit, now that's gone very well in watercolour, and you saw how I produced that effect. But maybe just a little bit of colour here and there. Nothing too strong, because otherwise it will spoil the concept of the watercolour. That's a little bit in there like that. If we felt it was a little strong, all we do is actually work on an ochre perhaps would look nice in there, just to melt it down a little bit, not quite so severe. That looks nice, like that. So that's not bad. A little bit of white maybe you could put in. We've used the Chinese white anyway, so that would have brightened it up, but maybe a little bit of white here and there to brighten that. That looks good, that looks good. A little bit more maybe in here, just a little bit of brightness in there. Don't need a lot. Now here is where we could put a little bit more colour in, so let me find the right one. I'm going to use a sepia colour, which is 175. I'm just going to put that a little bit more, not a lot, put a little bit of depth in there. See how that tree looks pretty good. Maybe a few overhanging leaves that we can use, just the odd. The idea of this is not to change this at all, but just to enhance. It's best to, if you're not sure, leave it alone. And you can put a little bit of lemon yellow will go very well here, because we can put just a little bit of texture, and of course down here where if we want a bit more. I'd already used the lemon yellow straight from the tube of watercolour, so that was enough. But this is fun as well, and that's what we're looking for. Anything that makes it fun, I think that's pretty good. I don't think we need to do any more of that. And I think that generally I'm pretty happy with this. I don't think I'm going to put any more pastel on. But what I am going to do is show you how it works on other parts of the picture. So enjoy.